Hey you guys, what is up? It is Drew and we're back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about my top 5 reasons on why you should think about purchasing a S197 style body Mustang. So my number one reason on why I believe you should buy a S197 body style Mustang is just the affordability. For me personally, there's a lot of money that I have put into this Mustang specifically, but stock and factory, you can find these Mustangs for $10,000 to $15,000. Me personally, when I purchased this, it was from a dealer. It was, I believe, $15,000 to $16,000. Obviously, with financing, interest rates, and all stuff like that. Once it was fully paid off, it was roughly around $21,000, and that does not obviously include modifications, but we're just talking about what you would get from a dealer or secondhand. And just for the overall affordability, when I purchased this Mustang, it came with a Roush Phase 1 Supercharger, and like I said, purchased it for 15 something, close to 16,000. Considering just performance, horsepower, things like that, it was already at 575 horsepower. So when you're looking at horsepower per dollar sign ratio, you can obviously look into the Corvettes, BMWs, Mercedes that are up there. Used, you'll find them for 30, even maybe starting 20,000. So overall, this is a great affordable option. Okay, so moving on to the second reason why I believe the S197 body style Mustang is a perfect purchase for you is, as you can see, the overall modifications that you can do to this Mustang. Now there is, I would say, just totaling up, I've already spent around just $15,000 in total of just modifications. You can go to carbon fiber spoilers, aftermarket headlights, full exhaust system. Right here I have Roush axle backs, long tube headers, superchargers, louvers. You know, you can go from performance modifications to cosmetic modifications. Suspension, I still personally haven't done any suspension modifications yet, but you could do coil-over springs, bags, whatever you want, wide tires, wide body kits if you want, wraps kind of like how I've did, carbon fiber. You can do anything to these cars. There's always a aftermarket company that will make some sort of part for the S197 style body Mustang. You do have to be a little careful within the model years, 05 to 09, there's more modifications, 13 to 14 Mustangs. There are roughly similar modifications. The 2010 to 2012, there are a little bit more limited modifications, but that is just to be expected. This is kind of like the middle child, but even it being the middle child, you can see how much modifications I was able to put into it and how good it looks. Moving on to my third point, I want to make a little bit of a disclaimer. Like I said, my car is supercharged, has a full exhaust system, but my third point is the MPGs. If you are going for just a factory style Mustang, you can average 19 to 20 MPGs in the city, which, I mean, it's no Toyota Prius or anything like that, but if you want a fun car, and this is going to be your only car, a lot of us don't have the privileges of having daily drivers and stuff like that. We just don't have the money for it. But 20 MPG is more than enough. Me personally, I obviously put premium gas, so it does cost a little bit more, but that is to be expected when supercharging, twin turboing, whatever you do to it performance-wise. But if you are going for a factory Mustang, you can expect pretty decent MPGs. Like I said, no Prius or anything like that, but it is very decent. And if this is going to be your daily car, this can obviously be a daily. Personally though, wouldn't recommend going too crazy if it is your daily, like how I did, but you could if you wanted to, and if you are pretty ballsy like that. Now moving on to my fourth point, we're just going to talk about the overall practicality of the Mustang, specifically speaking about my experience with the S197 body style Mustang, but you can obviously go S550. Those are a little more practical. but the overall practicality of this Mustang is relatively pretty good. You have sufficient amount of trunk space. You could put a couple suitcases. You do have back seats, so if you are looking for like a Corvette, Porsche maybe, I know those are a little bit higher up in the price range. You could look at, I believe, the 350 and 370Zs from Nissan. They don't have back seats, so me personally, I have been in the back seat of a Mustang, and it is not bad. I'm 5'9", 5'10". I've had friends that are 6'3", fit not comfortably, but you know, if you have kids or anything like that, you know, you could tell the wife, you know, it is practical. You know, you could have your wife in the passenger seat, have up to 2 kids in the back. So, you know, not saying it's a family car, but you could get away with the practicality of it. Trunk space, good enough. And V6, GT models, depending, gas mileage obviously varies, but it is relatively practical if you do want a fun sports car. And if you do not have the privilege of having a daily or 2 cars, then you are looking at a relatively practical sports car. And me personally, I've dailied this car for the past 3 years. Yeah, it's not as comfortable as an SUV or anything like that, but it's an SUV will never be as fun as this. Now, moving on to my 5th and final point, I just want to talk about how fast these cars are. Yes, if we're talking the new C8 Corvettes launching, things like that, and especially with Teslas, they're not as fast, but considering you are getting a relatively older vehicle, I believe factory these 0 to 60 was, the GT models, was 4.95 seconds, pretty good. If you got a Boss 302 model, which was mostly a little bit of engine modifications and suspension, you were averaging around 4.4, 0 to 60. And you can obviously imagine if you make it faster, suspension modifications, wheels, tires, stuff like that, I feel pretty confident, depending on sea levels and stuff like that, obviously so many variables, you can get it up to 3.9 seconds, maybe. Hard maybe, but if you're roll racing, stuff like that, drag racing even, many drag racers love the S197 body style Mustang because of its live rear axle suspension. Doesn't hop around. You put some nice drag slip speed locks, this thing will launch great at the track. And like I said, it was relatively affordable. You don't have to break the bank trying to have a nice drag car. And for street racers, don't personally condone it for legal reasons, but if you're looking for a really fast car, definitely go with the S197 body style Mustang compared to the S550. Way more affordable, many aftermarket parts, suspension. I can guarantee, I've seen some Roush supercharged Mustangs, not me personally, but I've seen them on YouTube. They can keep up with the brand new 2020 GT500 style Mustangs in roll races. So that just goes to say something. 2020 compared to 2011. All right, you guys, so that pretty much wraps up this video. Just wanted to go over some 5 points on why I personally believe the S197 body style Mustang is my personal favorite Mustang out of all of the generations. And I hope you guys like and subscribe and stay tuned for the future build. There's still plenty of things that I'm going to do. Next thing I'm going to be tackling is some suspension modifications. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.